Hi YouTube family. My name is Elysia English.
And I'm Philip English.
Welcome back to our channel. We are so excited today because the sun is shining.
Yay!
Yay! And it's not raining, which means we get to do some painting we've been itching to get at the past couple of days where we've been getting rained out. We just went to do our intro inside the camper where we always sit for our intro, and we had removed the couches, so we have nowhere to sit inside the camper. So we need to get some of our interior painting done so we can get some couches spaces back in if we want to sit down over the next couple of weeks. So we are going to start rolling the outside of the camper.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm going to use my exterior paint to paint the top of the side of the camper white so we can really see what it's going to look like. And then I'm hoping that today I can continue with the black all the way around the bottom of the camper, getting ready to do the white on the other side. So it's really fun that some of the exterior of the camper is getting done. I also did another coat off camera around the metal frames of the windows. That way those are really crisp. I'm not going to take the paint off or the painter's tape off yet, just in case I need to do another few touch-ups, but they look pretty good so far. So, all right, ready? Wow, what a difference this is gonna make, that it's not gonna be cream.
Who's going up on the roof to do the roof stuff?
Me!
Oh yeah, I knew it was gonna be you.
It'll be even whiter when there's another coat too, right?
Because you're the best artist I know.
Oh, thanks, buddy. The best ever. Because I'm the best artist he knows. I'm surrounded by boys who love me. Not rip off. I was going to just roll down the lip because it was like a pretty decent lip, but my roller is so plush because I bought a premium brand roller that it's not going to let me do that.
So we must
If I would have bought a cheapo roller, I could have saved some tape, but Home Hardware sells the good stuff, so. This is getting white, right? At the top?
Yeah.
I got it all over the black. Could have newspapered it off, but I got to do another couple coats on the black anyway.
First coat looks so good. The first coat looks so crisp.
As if the camper isn't messy enough today with all of the other projects that we have going on, but my putty is finally dry after over 12 hours, maybe even longer actually. And so now what I'm going to do is sand all of my putty so that I can put on my next coat of primer, because I have some areas here where I haven't actually been able to do primer yet. So we need to catch up the walls before I can do the white paint, because I'm gonna stencil soon. Inside window white.
Let's do it.
We're gonna have to spray and go.
Evacuate.
Evacuate. Oh, I feel bad. I killed the fly. He's suffering. I also just rolled another coat of the primer along this wall here and another spray of the window frame. That way I can let this dry for a couple hours while we work on some other projects. We're running out of daylight today. It's getting a little bit gloomy, but I thought while we still had a little bit of daylight, I would try to do another coat. So probably still come out and do another coat later before bed. When we woke up today and we saw that it was sunny out and that it wasn't any rain, I was so excited because I knew that that meant 100% for sure that I could tackle my stenciling that I want to do on this kitchen wall. And so I did a little vote for you guys in one of our videos and on our dashboard about which color you thought I was going to do for my stencil. And so I'm going to show you what color I'm finally going to do. I decided it's 100%. I decided between the mustard, the rust, and the coral, and I am going to use the coral. If you missed our live last night, we talked about some of the fabric we're going to show you during this video. As well as a new rug that I picked up and ordered. I don't have it yet, but I ordered a rug to put in the camper, which I think will really tie everything in. So if you want to see that, head to our dashboard and let me know what you think. But I'm really excited. So when I got up yesterday actually I spent quite a lot of time prepping this wall, painting it, priming it, painting it, puttying it, and you know, repeat. And then when I got up this morning in the better lighting that we had, I noticed that there were still quite a few rough patches that I definitely wanted to sort out before doing my stencil. So while we're working on the exterior, I have done just a really very thin, for sure going to dry today, layer of putty to be able to flatten out some of those spaces, and then I can come do one more quick coat, let it dry, and then we're going to stencil.
Let's see the paint.
Oh, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the color I decided out of the 3 colors is coral. Don't worry, for those of you who are freaking out that I'm doing a girly color in the camper, everything together is going to all blend in and go together, so don't worry. This is gonna look amazing.
Is it gonna be too girly?
It's not gonna be too girly.
I trust you.
All of the boys that I live with voted and they all chose this color out of the 3, so they get it.
I'm just putting the skirting back on over top of the tires so Elysia and I can go over and give it a nice black paint job and make it look cohesive with the rest of the look that we're going for.
Our wheel wells are also going to be black when we do get new tires, and so that will look really seamless when we get that all going. What's that random nail on the left there? Hanging out.
We're gonna pull that off. That's just
some random nail.
Random nail. They might have had something hanging off of it for the water. Or...
Yeah, maybe. I noticed it when I was painting. I wondered what it was for. The rain coming. We did our first coat of white on the top of the camper. And then I still have to work on that vent that looks unfinished there and figure out what I'm going to do with some of the plugs and outlets that are at the bottom here. I did do some of them black that I knew I definitely could paint, but that silver one I still need to probably use black spray paint on and cover some of the holes before I do it. And then that wheel well is going to be black. The wheel well rims are going to be black, and then Philip's working on removing that Jayco logo so that when I do my next coats over the camper we don't see that logo there. And then we're going to start working our way around the camper because you can really see the difference between what the cream did look like compared to what even just the priming coat of the white, how it's transforming the camper. So exciting. Gonna be so much better.
Yeah. I have to get the rest of this caulking off, and they had some wood braces down at the bottom that I'm gonna pull off and then make sure that we find out where all the holes are and nails that they had sticking out. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and take that wood out and the rest of the caulking off so we can finish painting this side, because it is a beautiful day. Wow.
Seamless.
That looks so good. I'm so glad you did that.
I at first wasn't sure what I was gonna do, and so glad
Hold on,
I
it's
did.
windy, it's windy, it's windy. Come closer, come closer.
Okay, it's so crisp.
It's
like,
so crisp.
there's just for some reason like this caulking on the camper here. I'm gonna scrape that off so I can get this nice and smooth where the white was, but I don't have to interfere with anything I just did. I used white paint on here yesterday, and then I spray painted it white this morning on the top, waited for it to dry, and then I taped off with the painter's tape with the black, and I used wax paper and painter's tape across the back here so that I could make sure that none of the, you're stuck to the painter's tape and the wax paper. It's my proof. I used that just to block off any overspray that would happen if I sprayed the bottom black, because we do have a bit of a breeze, and it's perfect.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna take the tape off the windows
Yeah.
And I'm going to do another roll of this once we get the Jayco off. And I want to get the scraper so I can figure out what that hard stuff is that's on the side of the camper.
Okay.
Yee, so fun.
What day is it?
More peeling. I mean, it's not wallpaper.
No, it's not wallpaper, so I guess it's better.
A little better. He's removing all of those Jayco logos so that this side will be completely seamless when we get another coat of paint on it. Look at this camper. So much better. It's really coming along. I am so happy that I took some extra time this morning and did yet some more prep for this sidewall, because it's meant that it is so much smoother than it was even just a few hours ago. It's still pretty wet, so it looks a bit splotchy, but the wall is absolutely seamless compared to what it was. It's always going to be some imperfections. It is a camper, and then eventually we will do some caulking around the windows here, but it's going to be ready in another hour or so for me to be able to do my stencil. So I'm so happy that I did this. Using my silhouette cameo, I created a design that I want to stencil on the wall in the kitchen space in the camper. So I'm using my silhouette cameo 4 to print it out on contact paper so I can reuse my stencil a few times, saving myself some vinyl. My paint is finally dry in the area that I want to create the stencil and a big impact on the wall in the kitchen space. And I told you I'm going to use my coral paint, and I'm really excited with how it's going to look when I do everything else in the camper. And so I've done this stencil, just one piece here so I can give it a go on the top corner here. Probably have to print a few more of these so I can make my way across the wall. But if you remember from my mudroom transformation, I was actually able to reuse my stencil multiple times because it wasn't that detailed of a pattern. And since this is a little more detailed, I'm not sure yet how many I'm going to need to print out or if I can move it and reuse it or not. But I'm going to get started. And so I've just used contact paper. And then I'm going to use another piece of contact paper to transfer this image onto the wall so that I can stencil. So then I'm going to peel it off. So, this is the fun part. Only waited 4 days to be able to do this. Okay, so I'm just using some scrap ends of transfer tape to be able to transfer it on in a flat surface. And then I just removed the paper backing. And then I have my pattern, and I'm going to find a spot so I can line it up on the wall before I push it down firmly. I'm gonna move it over because I'm gonna have some trim along this door eventually. Then I can start to remove my transfer tape. I'm gonna work from the top down. If you don't have a lot of experience using the stencils, it's best to go with something a little less intricate, but it was kind of a go big or go home for me for this one. The edges were super tedious because it's very intricate, so this is going to take me a long time. I'm going to sponge my first area, and then I will be able to remove this stencil and then lay an overlap where my pattern keeps going. So I'll be able to just keep going and then filling in my spots.
That's
It's going to be worth it in the end.
Yes.
If I use a makeup sponge instead of a paintbrush, I make sure that I don't have as much bleeding going underneath the stencil as if I was to pull a brush down and it would push paint underneath my stencil. So using these little wedge makeup brushes really helps put just really minimal amount of paint on where you're going to stencil. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I want it to kind of look faded. I don't really want it to be perfect full coverage. So using the sponge will let me do this as well. And I got it all off. So then what I do is I can line this up here to overlap where the stencil is, pretty close to perfectly. If the wind will work with me, and then I'll be able to work my way down. Except for there's a wire in my way. See if I can move it a third time. If you missed our live that we did last night, we talked about the fabric that I'm using inside the camper and how I'll be adding some texture and some different looks to what I'm doing with this fabric. And the lighting wasn't really that well, so I really wanted to show you guys during today's video what the fabric colors look like outside. And so this is actually an identical color to the coral that I'm putting on the wall in the kitchen space right now. So although it looks a little bit more orange in the lighting of the camper, it's just because we really don't have good lights installed right now. And then I have two different shades of yellow, two different shades of a rust, a green that matches very similar to my kitchen cabinets, and then I have a couple of fleck neutrals and a white. And so I really know what I'm gonna do with this inside the camper. So I'm not gonna tell you where this is all gonna go, but this is my color palette that I'm working with so far. I'm really happy with the way that this is turning out. I've done just a small section of this one wall, and I plan on carrying it to the bottom here where the bench would start, going across the window and then just down in this sort of random shape area at the back here, just right to the end of the seat. I'm not gonna do it at the bottom here by the floor because when the table's here, you're really not gonna see that anyways, and so I'm not really that concerned about that. But I'm definitely gonna carry this the rest of the night all the way over and torture you with my moving my stencil 800 times, but it's turning out really well. It's pretty dark in here right now, so it's looking a lot more orange rust than it is coral, but in the daylight, it's definitely the perfect match to the coral fabric that I picked. And so I'm really excited when we do get some proper lighting in here to really see how the coral really shows up. But right now it's turning out so good, and it's drying so fast that when I need to move for my next stencil, I can overlap and just keep going, which is what I had hoped was going to happen. So I'm really pleased with it. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this stencil, and if you're happy that I did the coral choice. So I know you can't see it really like true color right now, but hopefully in tomorrow's light, you'll be able to see it. We're running out of daylight here in Ontario.
Oh,
It's
wow,
cold.
What a great day.
We were so happy to see the sunshine today, and now that the sunshine's going away, it's getting really cold. And I have a lot of stenciling to still do for the rest of the night. I thought that was a good idea to stencil a whole wall like that, so detailed.
It looks great.
It's going to look so good, and I can't wait to see it in the true light tomorrow coming in the window. We are going to reveal the whole wall done for you in tomorrow's video. That is, if I can stay up long enough tonight after all the work we did today to get it finished. But that's my plan. I'm sticking with it. So we're so thrilled. This outside side we're standing in front of the camper is starting to really update the look of this 1986 Jayco. This thing was made 3 years after I was born, which is just crazy how old this thing is. And we're giving it this huge revamp and bringing it back to life. If you've been enjoying our content, make sure you hit the subscribe button. There's over 100,000 other YouTube family members. What are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button. YouTube's telling us that over 50% of our viewers have yet to subscribe. Come on, hit the button. It's not that hard. Everything on our channel is free. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for joining us for episode 16. If you've missed any of our other camper reno projects, you can find them located on our channel in our playlist. And if you missed our live from last night, you can hop over and see that too, because we post all of the lives that we do, so you guys can watch them if you missed them. So thank you guys so much for joining us. Ready?
Yeah.
We love you
ya.
guys, and we'll see you on tomorrow's video.
Bye.
Bye.